Excellent.
Record.
Got it.
All right. Thank you all for joining us for our Healers Talk Mondays. My name is Anuschka Alborzian. I'm an empowerment health coach and energy healer.
Hello, and I am Jacob Moya, and I am also an energy healer and a researcher of all things energy. Today, we have a beautiful topic.
We do. And, you know, a lot of times we bring in our, well, almost like all the time, I feel like we bring in the experiences we're experiencing in our own lives and then we share them with you. And so last week I had I used some fun, I say energy toys, frequency toys, and really just technology that has frequency healing and whatnot. And I used that last week on Wednesday and experienced some symptoms. So we thought, why not share some of that with you all on why do we experience physical symptoms after doing energy work? Symptoms like headaches. Like I had a massive headache, right? I know that some of my clients will just feel very low energy. Some even get nauseous, really sleepy. That's one that I feel like a lot of people, you just get really tired, right? And some
The
even
integration.
like they get colds, they get like a cold and whatnot, right? And so that's really what we wanted to talk to you all about and explain.
Right. And you know what? The beautiful thing about all this is that we should be very happy and celebrating that the body went through those shifts. Because remember, the body is adapting to something, to a shift, a change, but it happens so fast that your body's reacting, right? And it's gonna react in a different way. For everybody's different, like you said. Sometimes it's nausea, sometimes it's sleeplessness, and some other times people even are throwing up, you know. And there's all kinds of different symptoms. In your particular case, was a headache, and it's because of that, you know. Um, Remember that our body is changing, even we are not aware of this. Our body every single minute is regenerating, creating new cells, and adapting to its environment. So for example, that particular day, you were already going through your morning and do your things. So your body was already like in pace, right? Adapting to the environment as it was coming. But then out of the blue, something happened. And this you can also notice when you have like your day is going, okay, maybe ups and downs, and then you have an accident, right? Or a car accident or something like that. Or you're hit with the dramatic news about something or someone that you know, and it totally shifts your day. It totally changes your energy because your body was not on pace to adapt to that. But if for example, you're feeling bad and you are already feeling bad and you have an appointment with the doctor, it's kind of like you are already preparing yourself to hear that something is wrong with you because you are feeling bad, and that's the reason why you're going to the doctor, right? So it's the process of adaptation in that particular case is different because you are already in pace. Here you have no idea what to expect because we haven't had a time to talk about it, and you just jump in and start working on the scars on your body, right?
Yeah.
And the idea of the principle of this is to reestablish the energetic free flow of energy within your fascia, you know, so the energy can run freely through the body. Now the body was already adapted to not being in free flow, right? So you can see, like, for example, and this is very noticeable, that there's people that are because of stress, they usually, one of the ways that you physically see that someone is stuck in sympathetic mode is because one shoulder is higher than the other one, and then the ears are crooked. But even though they're like this, their head is always facing forward, right? Because the body is adapting itself, right? It needs to be in balance. So even the body is off balance, the head is gonna self-correct and go into balance. Or you can see, for example, people like me that have a hunchback, you turn to do this. You know, your face is facing forward, like if you were in an upright position, but you're not. You're like this, right? So it's because the body, it's always adapting. It's always doing what it needs to do in order to create some sort of a structural balance inside of you. So your body in this particular case was used to the blockages of energy that you have inside of your body. You know, it's used to not receiving energy from there, and it's trying to compensate by pulling energy from somewhere else. So when we start going there and start messing around the areas and start like moving the energy and forcing the energy to remove, it's like a log that is on the river, right? Caught in the water, the free flow of water. Water is still going through, but it's because of the log. But as soon as you remove that, all the debris that was stuck in the log is gonna flush through, right? And it's gonna go with everything else. And then eventually it's gonna clear up and it's gonna go back into balance. So that's usually what happens in our body, because emotions are also blockages. They're not physical blockages as a scar, but it's also an energetic blockage that is holding energy there, and it needs energy. That emotion that is stuck, that memory that is stuck inside of you, needs energy to remain alive. Otherwise, will just go away and disappear. But your body knows that it's important for you to heal or to solve an issue that is related to that. So pretty much goes there and feeds that a little bit of energy to that thing. Once you remove that emotion away, once you let it go, from all the debris and all the stuff that was there is no longer there. So it's gonna be a shift. It's gonna be a change inside of your body. Sometimes it lasts 1 day, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3 days, but no more than 3. You know, your body adapts very fast. Mm-hmm. Now,
I
we
feel
can
like,
minimize this.
Just to add, because sometimes I'll do something I've learned from Anna with the SRT, right? Is that we need to allow the body to integrate, because like you're saying, energy is like quick. Energy is very quick. It's like boom. It's once you release it, that's it. Whereas the body's dense, and we have so many trillions of cells. Like what? I don't even know. 50, 70. Who knows? I still don't know. Whatever it is, trillions of cells in the body. So it takes the body's cells longer for the integration to happen in order for that fully to align with whatever the release is.
Right.
But
right.
I've noticed sometimes it's more than 3 days though, because like sometimes it comes up like when I'm checking to see how many days it will take to integrate for people that, for instance, haven't done much energy work, right? I feel like they are no energy work. So do you not experience that on your end?
Well, this is the thing. And of course, these are things that you're getting through experience, because like I said, I love to research all things energy, right? So every time that I have a situation, it's like, gosh, it's like tingling, like, oh yeah, I want to put my hands on it, right? And see what I can learn out of it. What I notice is that you can also help the body to readapt to the new environment, and usually goes into when you go into meditation and you allow the free flow of energy through the body, but you have to go like very deep into the meditation, relax the body, pretty much like if you split your consciousness and some part of your consciousness goes away, right, outside of the body. That's the ideal place, because once you are out there, you're out of the way, and then you allow the body to do whatever needs to do in order to readapt itself. Most of this time, this is what I find, okay, it's not a scientific fact, but this is what I find very consistently with the clients that I work with. When you remove the emotional or energetic blockage, they because it's an unknown, because the body enters into an unknown territory, you immediately stress out. So immediately you go into better brain waves, and you start getting shots of cortisol and adrenaline into the body, and that kind of like prevent everything to happen, you know, the shift to really happen fast inside of you. Because what you do when you are under stress is immediately your brain is trying to research through all your past, when do you live a similar experience and what was the outcome, you know, because it doesn't know if it's going to be a good outcome or a bad outcome, you know. It's just assumed that it's unknown, and it's like, oh my god, what's going on here, let's control this thing, you know. But that's the intent. Let's say that's the heat, that's the hot part. So now in order to bring it to balance, we need to bring the cold part, right? The yang part, which will be in this particular case just relaxing the body, going to deep breaths, going inside of the body, and allow the energy to move freely through the body, and little by little start adapting our consciousness to that flow of energy, to the free flow of energy. So the type of meditation that I will do in those cases is that just close your eyes and go through the breathing and the things that we usually go through.
Which
And
is
then,
what I did not do that day, by the way.
yeah,
I realized that
exactly.
later.
Well, because that's the thing. You don't feel like it because you like everything is bothering you. Your head is getting all your attention, and because you are putting all your attention in the way that you're feeling, all your energy is stuck there, and you don't see solutions, and you don't try to find solutions.
Oh yeah, and I
Right?
was consumed by my dog because I had
Yeah,
to go pick him up from his
yeah,
surgery, right? So it was like,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But the recipe will be to go inside of you and acknowledge first whatever it is that you're carrying in your head, whatever message your body's trying to tell you, and with loving gratitude, just let it go, you know, and just bring it. Uh, when we go into our meditation practice, I explain them the different types of breathings. We usually have like three main breathings, although there's more, but the three are like the core breathings, you know. So we start to apply the breathing to release energy, you know, and once we release energy and we let go of the body, the symptoms minimize. Most of the time go away, and if it doesn't go away, at least it's gonna be minimized to a very manageable level, you know, where you're gonna still feel it, but it's not bothering you, it's not affecting your day, you know, and your the way that you feel and everything. So
Yeah, and usually
that's
I don't get those types of physical symptoms. So I was like, oh, well, now I know what a lot of people that do get them,
yeah,
clients of mine and
yeah.
whatnot. And like another thing I noticed is, like I said, one, I didn't do the meditation after the fact to bring in the high vibes
Hmm.
and really just breathe
Hmm.
it. And then the other thing is I was very much consumed by something else, and it was, not something very great because I had to go pick up my dog who is like
Hmm.
in pain. So of course I'm
Hmm.
taking on, I feel like, his pain in a sense, right?
Right, right.
So I mean, as an empath especially, um and like I just like couldn't, like, his yelping was just making, it was just draining me. I could feel it. I'm like, he like in the car, he like at one point like fell, and it was bad. And I remember after that I was like, oh my god, my head is so bad. And then of
Yeah,
course, like, just continued without me calling you, and that was probably what I needed
yeah,
to do.
yeah.
Another thing I noticed too is sometimes when people are resisting the changes happening within the physical body, that can
Yeah,
be
but that's different. That is different because usually, like I said, we reject what we don't know, although we don't know many things, but that's like a natural thing for us to do, you know. And when people is doing the work and is not liking what they are starting to feel or how they're going to feel, it's what I noticed is that most of the times is because we didn't hit the source of the problem. It's like there's something else inside of them, and the body is keeping them hijacked to the event and is not allowing them to move forward until they solve this other particular thing that is very live and vivid right there, you know. But yeah, it's in those cases, you're right. I mean, it's up to the person, you know. If the person wants to continue and do the thing, they're ready for it. If they don't want to, it's like, okay, you know, there's nothing else that we can do. But it's all about that. It's all about
That's more like
allowing
also the
yourself.
ego is resisting, because it could be the person's like, yes, I would like to, but it's more like the higher
It's
self, right? It's like that there's a part of them, because I've noticed I have a couple clients, one specifically, and I noticed that there's a lot of resistance from the ego side, and so then she tends to get a lot more of the physical symptoms than any other person that I've worked with.
yeah. It's you know, one of the things that there's three things that I always ask to my clients before I do some work. The name, the name itself, it's the phonetics of the name tells you, gives you information, you know, how strong the name feels and or how soft the name feels. And then I always ask for the astrological sign, not because I am an astrologer, I don't understand astrology, but I created my own thing, as we talked in other talks before.
Mhm.
And then lastly, the age, you know, because those three things give me a lot of information about the person that I'm working with. And without those three things, it's kind of complicated because um, it will be like shooting around. And there's people that are very physical and they need to understand everything very
Logically.
kind, yeah, kind of like uh, with a base, with a baseline, you know, with a scientific baseline, you know, where is all this coming from? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, prove it to
Okay,
me
prove it.
exactly. And there's other people that are more like me, that I really don't care what's behind or what are the mathematical formulas that allow us to replicate this or to explain this to the universe.
Yeah,
Whatever, you know, for
totally.
me, does it feel good? Yeah, okay, I take
Yeah,
it, you know.
that's what
It
yeah.
doesn't feel good. Okay, why it doesn't feel good, you know. But it's kind of like that. So it helps you, it helps you to understand what is the approach that you can take. Now uh, everybody have the right, I mean, to live in pain and in suffering, because the way that I see it is that kind of like they are not ready yet, you know. They haven't lived the thing that is going to trigger the change on them. So our job in those particular cases is not to transform them, but to plant a seed, you know, a seed that is going to be inside of them, just waiting for the right time to start coming out, you know. And it happens many times. I have very close friends, important relationships around me, the people that I probably hurt at some point even more than I should, that that they actually understand and they start to experience the shifts inside of them on the meditation. They say, no, this is not for me. You know, I want to be with my friends, and I want to drink my tequila, and I want to have fun, and that's okay. You know, is the right. Is the way that I see it. There, we are close friends because we are creating balance to each other. You know, they are helping me to be the way that I am, and I am helping them to be the way that they are. And
Oh, yeah.
doing regressions, like past life regressions, I discover many reasons why the people are the way that they are. You know, so for me, it's like now I don't have to know that they are working on something from probably another time, and that's why they have to be the way that they are. but it's kind of like respect. It's more like I respect that you're going through your own process and that you are coming to the end or at the end of that process, and that's why you are starting to open up yourself to see these other things, you know. And it happens to me as well, you know. There's people that I work with that they keep me in such a high regard, and it's like, oh my God, you're magnificent, so on and so forth. And there's other people like, whatever, you know. You know, it's just nothing happens, you know, and it's totally fine. I mean,
Yeah.
what is important for us as healers, as workers of energy, is just to be humble enough to understand that we don't know and we don't understand what's going on with the person that we have in front of us working with, and to surrender to the energy of the person and hopefully the higher self of the person that know them very well, that can provide the tools and the guidance to go through a process to create a transformational gift for that person.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I take out of this. And sometimes, like I said, if they're not ready, they're not ready. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Well, and
okay.
sometimes I feel like they think they're ready. Because like that's see, so the person I'm speaking of, it's like she's very much like she says she's ready, her higher self is ready. But then when it comes to it, there's some type of resistance. Like when we're like
Yeah,
off session, right? That's when the resistance comes into play. And
yeah, totally,
so and then it's like
totally.
I just, you know, obviously I allow her to be because that's her path. But
Yeah,
it's just more curiosity because I noticed that with that resistance, there are more physical symptoms,
symptoms.
right? Because it's like the
Yeah.
body's like having almost like to battle in a
Mm-hmm.
sense is like the what I at least how I see it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, it is. It is a battle. It's a battle of energy leaving the body and she allowing it to go, you know, to go away, to move forward, you know,
Mhm.
and if the energy is not allowing that, if her energy is still trying to hold it, it's gonna be an internal battle. And you're right. You are totally right. You know, and that's why I use a lot nowadays these measurement equipments, you know, because for me it's very clear, you know, I can see and I can
Sure.
pretty much find out what's going on and how they are taking the session, you know, and but they don't see what I see, and so I'm trying to measure them in one way just out of the session and then just bring again, and I used to do it a lot with the pendulum, you know. I used to I have a pendulum always next to me, so I'm sure that somewhere in here I have one. And but I was telling them, I usually tell them, okay, I put my pendulum out, let's say that one, and we can do the exercise with you, you know. It's like, let me see if I'm connected with Anuschka. I should be able to. My name is Anuschka. Yes. Okay. My name is Jacobo or Jacob. No, it's not. Okay. So, for example, I at the end of the session, I will tell them how are you feeling, and I'm gonna check how are you feeling right now, and you feeling great, and can I have a measurement of your energy, and I usually measure with my hand how far away their aura is, you know, how much energy are they putting. And then, because we normally work on very specific things, I tell them, okay, so let's talk about the thing that you heal. And in this particular case, in your case, because I don't have you here and I cannot measure your aura, I'm gonna ask you about the blockages that you were carrying inside of your body. I think it was on the leg and somewhere, some other places, right?
Yeah, some leg,
Okay, so
the
your energy
arm.
just shift right now, you know. And in my case, I can see it, but the pendulum is gonna react, and there you go, you know, immediately change. And if I was next to you, your energy will contract immediately because it goes to a protection mode. You know, it
Mhm.
immediately shifts and goes like, oh, okay, there's something that we need to protect ourselves, because for your body, for your mind, it doesn't matter if it's on the past. If you are living it again, it's reliving everything, and the very first thing that your energy is going to do is going to protect itself. It's going to bring all the energy close. So I show them that, and I tell them, look how your energy contract. And that is the problem of carrying those emotions, those feelings inside of you. So now let's go back to where we were. What was the work that you were doing? And let's allow your body to communicate through you how it feels now that all these blockages are getting released, finally released, and all that debris is moving away, and you probably gonna go to a restroom and throw that debris away, or you're gonna get a good sweat, and immediately your energy shifts, and then if I was next to you, I could see it, and I can see it expanded. It's like, you see, now some people think that I am moving this,
Yes.
and some people understand how it works. But now with the finger thing, and they can measure and they can see themselves the difference in just by changing the focus and changing the program inside of them, by allowing themselves to really change. It's I mean, I cannot make that stop up, right? It's,
No,
it's like,
right.
it's your
Exactly.
finger, it's in front of you. I had no pull there.
Totally.
So, but that's what it is. Your case was very unique in the sense that when we measured you before, you were pretty stable, and when we measured you
Right.
after the release, you went all over the place. And I should have told you that it was going to come with a wave of symptoms,
Uh-huh.
but I was trying to do two persons or
Yeah,
two
and
people
I
at the
was
same
in a
time,
rush
and
and everything, which
yeah,
and I was curious about that because the chart showed, yeah, I was more stable, and then all of a
yeah.
sudden something
You
opened.
are not. You're not. But
Yeah.
for me, for example, of course, if I just seen the report and don't understand energy, I see, holy cow, what happened here? And but because I understand energy and I understand the your body was adapted to function in the way that it was, although it wasn't the proper way. Now that we open the stuff, it's your body's getting toxins and it's getting all the things that were stuck in those areas,
And then
you
of course
know,
headache, which
through the
makes
body.
total sense.
Yeah, it's a reaction. It's telling you that we do something, do something. There's this shit going on inside of us. Uh, um, Probably if you lay down on the grass or on your patio, under the sun for a little bit, it would have helped. It would have helped you to
Yeah.
release all the stuff, because the UV rays, and actually there's a study about that. The ultraviolet, infrared and ultraviolet light, what they do is they organize the water molecules. So for example, if you have a glass of water sitting here for 2-3 days without any movement, with a top and anything, the water is not meant to be still. It's meant to be running, right? So it stops having all the properties that it's supposed to have. But if you get an infrared light and you shoot it into the glass of water, the molecules start like moving again and reorganizing themselves, and it becomes alive.
Hmm.
And remember that we are like 70% water in our
Right.
brain, in our head. The area that you were having headache, it's even bigger than that. It's 80, 85, 90, depending on your age. So water. So if you go there and you lay down on the floor, so you can have that exchange of energy, and the UV rays are coming to you, through you, they're reorganizing your entire body. So it really helps. Most of the equipment that we carry and that we have, they are meant to replicate what nature does
Mhm.
naturally. you
Right.
know
Well, so the thing
so
is, the other thing is that earlier that day I had played volleyball. I think I told you that. And I wasn't a lot of sun. So part of I felt like there was a part of it was some heat exhaustion too. So whether it was like the sun or just
Mhm.
how hot it was. So I think it was just like multiple things.
It's a combination
Yeah,
of things.
multiple things
Probably you were
combined.
also
And then
dehydrated.
I was drinking. Yeah. So however much water I was drinking, even with electrolytes, it just wasn't enough. My body
Yeah,
just kept wanting more water that day.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
just a combination of different things. And so, hey, perfect because now we get to talk about it here.
Absolutely,
To
absolutely,
share with
absolutely.
everyone else.
And how's your arm? By the way, you were working on your arm.
Yeah, it's a
How's your
lot
arm?
better. I got another little device that puts like pressure here to
Uh-huh.
help, but I can actually lift things like, like I can
Okay,
actually lift it without it hurting as much. I wasn't able to
okay,
do that. So it
okay,
was
good.
like doing, the energy work, I feel like, and then like I said, I'm using like a pressure point little like
Okay,
band to help as well. But yeah,
excellent.
overall, I mean, I feel like a release was done for sure because I did the
Oh,
release
totally. I
and
mean, we see it.
kidney
W-
meridian.
w-
Yeah,
Right, we saw on the report. We saw how all the organs start processing all that information, and it was like, "Holy cow!" What's
yeah.
going on? We saw that. We saw that. Yeah, definitely, definitely. It was a big shift inside of you.
So yeah,
But I'm glad. I'm glad. I
we'll have
mean,
to talk about
because
those
like I told
reports
you,
some other time. Just so I
yeah,
understand them a
yeah.
little more. And just to share with people too, because speaking of just numbers and whether you follow your intuition or not, it's like so just with the whole fertility journey, I have chosen not to go through with IVF right now. I like put it on pause. I put it on hold because internally, intuitively, I keep feeling like I can naturally get pregnant. And
Mhm.
and you know how people want numbers. So I got my blood work done. Did I share this with you? I know I got my blood work done. And then the I'm just going to say baby making hormones because most people don't even know what they
Mhm.
are. They completely shifted, and that it's not just the energy work, right? But it's also the supplements that I'm taking from Joanna. And so it's like a combination of it all.
It's everything.
It's
Yeah, it's everything.
everything and being high vibe because I'm finally in a place where I can talk about fertility without feeling like I'm going to cry.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's why
So,
I usually recommend my clients to see this documentary, and it's like everybody. I mean, I send everybody to see that documentary because then we can have like a similar language when we're talking to each other.
mm,
The biggest little farm,
what is it?
the biggest little farm. It's
Uh,
on Hulu or on Amazon Prime, and it's about the couple that young couple. He's a filmmaker. I think she's a chef, and they quit their jobs. They got into a partnership. They purchased land from Santa Monica. They moved to Napa and start a farm. And they, because he's a filmmaker, he's recording absolutely everything that they're going through. And but the land was completely dead. It was like rock solid when they got it.
uh-huh.
And that's the reason why they could afford that piece of land, because it was dead, nothing grew there other than weeds.
Right.
And but they got the equivalent of a holistic healer, you know into the land. There is a person that understands nature, that understands the land, and explaining the situation and explaining the things. And little by little is the story of 8 years of hard work. And you can see the before and after, how they transform that completely dead dirt into what it becomes. It becomes an oasis. But during this period, during these 8 years, it's when we have the fires that destroy Santa Rosa and big parts of that area, of Napa. And then there's the time when they were this nonstop rain that was flowing all over the place. I don't know if you remember, not too long ago. So, but you can also see how, because their land was already processing change and transformation compared to the farms around him, how they were able to hold and support those things. And that's why when I talk to them about sickness, you know, you cannot control the environment. You cannot control if someone's going to give you the flu or COVID or whatever, you know. What you can control is your piece of land, and making sure that it's not only the supplements, and it's not only the food that you eat, it is not only the exercise, you know, and it's not only healing the emotions. It's a combination of everything. You need everything, because it's a universe. Everything fits from each other. The body that you have, the way that you are, the way that you think, is a result of everything. Now, there are things that you cannot control, right? I mean, I cannot control I'm just going to quit my job because there's a lot of stress there. We cannot control that, right? This is like, you probably moved to another job, and because the industry that you are in, it's going to be as stressful or even worse, right? But what you can control is declaring yourself that you are a smoker, and then asking for 5 minutes every, I don't know, every 2 hours, and go outside with your pen and just smoke air, you know, and go inside of you into a meditation with your eyes closed, and release everything that you've been accumulating, or do a release of energy, the weird way that we do it, you know, and go back into center, and then go back and continue your journey, right? Yeah. And leaving the problems of the office at the office, and don't carry them forward to your home, and vice versa. Don't carry to your office the problems from home, you know, allowing them to dissipate to the energy. Okay, it's too much energy, I cannot handle it right now, let's wait a little bit. So that wait a little bit, the air keeps shifting, keeps moving, the stars keep realigning themselves, so the energy of that event's gonna come down a little bit by the time that you're gonna see it again, you know, and you're gonna be probably in better shape with the very perspective, right? So those are the things that you can do, but it's everything. It's not just one thing. So in this case, look at you, you know, you did a full transformation, and it was extremely fast, you know. What was it, less than a month, isn't it?
Couple months. Well, the first, no, it's been a little bit, because March was the last time I had blood work done.
Okay.
And then, so actually, yeah, and then I did the detox in the between of everything, right? Mm-hmm. So it ended up being 4 months actually, which I still
okay.
That was still, I mean, one of the measurements went down by 15 measurements. That was like, yeah, I was blown away. And then the other one is like almost optimal. But I know this is, and just to put it out there, and these are the things that I had asked multiple Western doctors and whatnot, like, how can I bring this down, or how can I change this? And they said, there's nothing you can do. Once it's at that point, that's it. And I just intuitively, I didn't believe it, because I'm like, that's not possible. Yeah. Like, there's got to be something that can be done.
Yeah, if I did it, I can fix it, right? If I create it this way, I can uncreate it.
They were saying that you're premenopausal is what they were telling me.
Yeah.
But based on these numbers, right? And now I'm like, well, now I'm not.
Yeah, and that's how it is. And that's how it is, you know. And that's what we need to do all the time, and keep working and becoming good at it, you know, at making sure that we are creating all these shifts inside of us.
Yeah, and I feel like is huge. Not getting scared. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there was part of me that was getting a little freaked out, because I mean, you saw, because like the doctor's saying this, the fertility center is saying this, you don't have time. Like, they were just like, I felt like I was being bombarded, and everything inside of me was just contracted. It didn't feel good to go that route. Yeah. And I'm like, hey, look, I still have frozen embryos. Like, they're there. But I do believe it's like everything inside of me, no, this can happen naturally. So don't let people scare you.
And do the work, you know, all those different things. I mean, because it's not only one thing. And it's, talking about work, I mean, it's like, for me at least, everything started with the meditation, and that's why we have our meditation group. And we don't have a lot of attendees, so it's very intimate, and we're able to work things in particular many times. So we definitely invite you to join us and participate with us into it's a little bit long meditation, but it's good because at least we make sure that you go deep inside of you once a week, you know, and that helps you. It's part of the process, it's part of the transformation. So what a better way to start the week.
And have had massive, I mean, I always think of Sarah, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
didn't do much else other than the weekly meditation with us. I think here and there she'll meditate, but overall, I mean, I've seen huge shifts in her, and I've known her pretty much most of my life. So.
Good. And that's what it is
too, right? So just for those that haven't joined us, I mean, we do aura cleansing, rebalancing the chakras, releasing negative energy, all of that, and you learn this routine.
Yeah, forgiveness practice, you know, and yeah, it's we do a lot of stuff, and like I said, and like I mentioned before, is the body shifting and adapting itself, right? So in this case, if you give them one thing there to help to start transforming that adaptation, so it's part of your environment as well, you know, the meditations becomes part of your environment. It will have to, your body needs to be able to adapt, to be able to work with it and hold it and be and accepted as part of you, you know, and that triggers other shifts. So it's great. This is today, guys. It's today at 7 Pacific. It's 7 to 8. And if you cannot stay for the whole thing, you can cut it short and just go to sleep, you know, but you're still gonna get a lot of benefit. So join us today. Anuschka have all the details.
Yes, it's only $20 to join, and you pay that to Jacob. There, I'm going to post some of that information after this. And then I send you a link. Once you do make that payment, I send you the link to join. It's super simple. It's a Zoom link, and you get to do it at the comfort of your own home.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it will be nice to have you guys with us.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. I'm checking to see if there's any other questions here. Oh, I don't know if she's here with us still, but someone on Instagram said that she had a facial, I don't know, fascia counter strain done last week and has been sore for 6 days. So I don't know if that was something related to when we were talking about the integration.
Yeah, but the thing here is that I don't know if she's local, if she's from San Diego or not, because I use equipment for that. It's not just energy and magnets or something that I can do at a distance. There's also physical application of microcurrent in the body. So it requires to have those frequencies. An instrument that develop, that brings those frequencies into the body.
Yeah, which is probably why you've noticed that it can happen as quick as 1, 2, or 3 days. So maybe that's really what it is. It's like that's helping with the physical for the physical body to just be quicker with the integration.
Exactly. If we remove both things, the energetic side and the physical side, healing is way faster. Way faster.
That's what I need to learn then from you. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us, and hope to see you tonight at our meditation. Bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye.